Hey there, coin collectors. Welcome back to GS Coins, your ultimate destination for everything related to rare and valuable coins. In today's video, we're going to be diving into a coin that's both iconic and rich in history, the 1991 quarter-dollar coin. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just a beginner who's stumbled across an old quarter in your change, you're in the right place. We'll explore everything you need to know about this particular coin, including its design, historical significance, and most importantly, how much it's worth in today's market, especially if it's in good condition. So make sure you stick around because you might just have a hidden gem in your collection. History and design. Close-up shot of the 1991 quarter-dollar coin, rotating slowly, showing its detailed engravings. Let's start by taking a trip back in time. The quarter dollar has been in circulation for over 2 centuries, but in 1991, the design remained mostly unchanged, following the tradition of featuring George Washington on the obverse, or front side of the coin. Washington, the first president of the United States, has been featured on the quarter since 1932, when the design was first introduced to honor his legacy. That design remains a cornerstone of U.S. coinage even to this day, cut to a historical graphic of George Washington. On the reverse side of the 1991 quarter dollar, we see the majestic American eagle, which has long been a symbol of strength, courage, and freedom. This eagle has evolved in different ways over the years, but it consistently represents the ideals that America stands for. The 1991 quarter is a great example of the traditional design, and if you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in your collection, you're holding a piece of U.S. history. And what's more interesting? The 1991 quarter was minted during a pivotal moment in American history, just after the end of the Cold War, and as the country was entering a new decade full of technological advances and political shifts. Cut to the rotating quarter with detailed close-ups of the eagle design. The 1991 quarter might seem simple at first glance, but it's packed with meaning. It represents the nation's spirit, unity, and heritage. So next time you look at your 1991 quarter, think about the history behind that coin. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a reflection of America's story. Mint marks and variations. Zoom in on different 1991 quarter-dollar coins, showing variations with mint marks. Now, let's dive into a detail that could significantly impact the value of your coin, the mint mark. In 1991, the U.S. Mint struck quarters at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. This means that your quarter could have one of 3 mint marks: no mint mark, a D, or an S. Let's break it down. If your quarter has no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia, which is the main facility. If you see a D, that means it was minted in Denver. And finally, if there's an S on your coin, it was struck in the San Francisco Mint. Each of these mint marks tells us a little bit about where and how the coin was produced. While all 3 are relatively common, the mint mark can still make a difference to some collectors. For example, coins minted in San Francisco are often associated with proof coins, which we'll talk about in a moment. Cut to a side-by-side comparison of different mint marks on the 1991 quarter. But here's something that's often overlooked. While mint marks provide some level of insight into a coin's origin, they don't necessarily determine its value alone. A lot more factors come into play, like the condition of the coin, whether it's been circulated or not, and if there are any special characteristics, such as errors. Collectible value in today's market. Graphical overlay showing rising and falling prices of various coins, followed by a table of 1991 quarter-dollar prices. So, how much is the 1991 quarter really worth today? Well, if you've got a standard, everyday circulated coin, its value is still quite close to its face value of 25 cents. That's right, unless your coin is in excellent condition or has some unique features, it's likely going to be worth just about the same as what you'd find in your pocket. However, let's break it down and look at how different factors can affect its price in today's market. Value of the 1991 quarter in good condition. Circulated coins. Good condition. If your 1991 quarter is in good condition but has been used in circulation, it's typically worth about 25 to 50 cents. This is because coins that have been circulated show signs of wear, such as scratches, fading, and minor dents, which slightly lowers their value. Uncirculated coins, mint condition. If your 1991 quarter is in uncirculated or mint condition, meaning it looks like it was just freshly minted and never touched by the hands of time, you could expect to see a value in the range of $1 to $3. This is for quarters that still retain sharp, crisp details and have no wear on the edges or face. Proof coins. Now, let's talk about proof coins. These are specially minted for collectors and are often produced with a mirror-like finish. They're made with a special die and are struck multiple times to ensure a high-quality finish. If your 1991 quarter is a proof coin, in good condition, it could be worth $3 to $5 or even more, depending on its overall quality. Cut to a close-up of an uncirculated quarter, showing its shiny finish. Now, here's an interesting tidbit. Even though the 1991 quarter doesn't generally fetch hundreds of dollars, the beauty of coin collecting is that value can sometimes surprise you. If your coin is in great condition and you're lucky enough to find an error coin or rare variation, that value could skyrocket. Rare coins and special editions. Cut to a collection of special edition quarters, including proof coins, limited releases, and rare errors. While most 1991 quarters are fairly common, some collectors are on the lookout for specific variations that could be worth far more. For instance, certain special edition coins, like those released as part of a collector's set, could fetch more at auction. And let's not forget about error coins. Zoom in on an example of a misprinted or off-center coin. Error coins are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting, and if you're lucky enough to have a 1991 quarter with an unusual flaw, it could be worth a small fortune. These errors could include things like double strikes, off-center printing, or die cracks. Some error coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on their rarity and the extent of the mistake. So always keep an eye out for any coins with noticeable flaws or unique characteristics. They might just be more valuable than you think. Condition grading. Graphics showing the different coin grading levels, from good to mint state. When it comes to the value of a coin, condition is one of the most important factors. Coin grading is the process by which a coin is assessed based on its physical condition, and it plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A mint state coin, one that is in perfect condition, could command a much higher price than a coin that's been worn down through circulation. Grading is a complex process, but here's a quick rundown. Good. Coins with heavy wear, visible scratches, and fading. Fine. Coins that show moderate wear but still retain their details. Mint state. These coins are nearly perfect with sharp details and minimal signs of wear. If you've got a coin that's been professionally graded and it scores in the high 60s or even 70, you could see a substantial increase in its value. How to identify a valuable 1991 quarter, step-by-step visual guide showing how to check mint marks, condition, and errors. Now, if you're wondering how to check if your 1991 quarter might be worth more, here's a simple checklist for you. Look for the mint mark. Check beneath the year. Is there a mint mark? Is it a D, S, or none at all? Examine the condition. Is it shiny, or does it show signs of heavy wear? Coins in excellent or uncirculated condition are always worth more. Look for error. Coins. Check for double strikes, off-center designs, or other unusual characteristics. Consider special editions. If you have a proof version of the 1991 quarter, it could have additional value. Conclusion. Scene of various quarter coins being placed into a collector's binder with a soft background tune. All right, collectors, that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the 1991 quarter dollar. Whether it's just a standard coin in your pocket or a rare proof coin that could be worth much more, I hope you now have a better understanding of how to identify and value this piece of American history. And remember, even though most of these quarters are common, if you find one in mint condition or with an error, it could be worth far more than you'd expect. Next up, the 1996 $quarter coin. You might have one of these quarters hiding in your collection, or maybe you found one in your pocket change. But what's it really worth today, especially if it's in good condition? Stick with me as we explore the history, the design, and the market value of this iconic coin, because you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. History and design. Cut to a close-up shot of the 1996 quarter with the obverse and reverse clearly visible. First, let's talk about the history behind the 1996 quarter. As many of you probably know, the quarter is one of the longest-standing coins in the United States, featuring George Washington, the first president of the U.S., on the obverse. This iconic design, created by John Flanagan, has been in circulation since 1932, and it's still the same design that we see today on most quarters. Cut to a historical graphic of George Washington. The 1996 quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, but what makes the 1996 quarter a bit more interesting is its position in the timeline. The quarter had already seen several changes since the 1930s, but by 1996, the design was becoming a bit more familiar to collectors who were used to seeing the same basic look for decades. However, in the 1990s, some new collector's editions and series releases began making waves, especially with the various state quarters series that followed. Close-up of the reverse side, showing the American eagle. On the reverse of the 1996 quarter, we still see the powerful image of the American eagle, a symbol of the country's strength and freedom. This design was in place from 1932 to 1998 before the U.S. Mint started introducing designs based on the states in 1999. The 1996 quarter, while not as rare or unique as some other quarters, is still an important piece in the evolution of U.S. coinage. Mint marks and variations. Cut to a zoomed-in shot of several 1996 quarters showing various mint marks. Now let's talk about the mint marks. In 1996, just like with most other U.S. coins, the quarter was produced at multiple minting facilities, and this affects the value of the coin today. There are three main types of mint marks to be aware of when it comes to the 1996 quarter. If there's no mint mark, that means your coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. If there's a D, it was struck at the Denver Mint. If there's an S, that means your coin came from the San Francisco Mint. These mint marks indicate where the coin was produced, but they don't always have a major impact on value. For example, a 1996 quarter with a D mint mark isn't automatically more valuable than one with no mint mark. However, if you have a proof coin minted in San Francisco, that's where things start to get interesting. Collectible value in today's market, graphical overlay showing price estimates of the 1996 quarter based on its condition. All right, let's get to the important part. How much is the 1996 quarter worth in today's market? Well, the value depends largely on the condition of the coin. Here's a breakdown of the typical value for the 1996 quarter in good condition. Value of the 1996 quarter in good condition. Circulated coins, good condition. If you find a 1996 quarter that has been used in circulation, you can expect it to be worth about 25 to 50 cents. This is because a circulated coin will show some wear and tear, such as light scratches, minor dents, and fading around the edges. Uncirculated coins, mint condition. If the 1996 quarter is in mint or uncirculated condition, meaning it has no signs of wear, and the design is still sharp and vibrant, you could be looking at a value in the range of $1 to $3. These quarters are much harder to find, as most coins in circulation see some level of damage over time. Proof coins. Now, this is where things get really interesting. If you have a 1996 proof quarter, especially one that's been carefully preserved and is in excellent condition, it could fetch $3 to $5 or even more. Proof coins are specially minted for collectors and are struck multiple times to give them a highly polished finish and mirror-like surface. The 1996 proof quarter was minted in limited quantities, so it's a little more desirable in the collector's market. Rare coins and special editions, cut to a shot of several proof and special edition coins. Now, while most 1996 quarters are quite common, there are rare variations and special editions that can command higher prices. For instance, certain quarters might have errors or unique characteristics that make them stand out. Error coins, such as those with double strikes or misprints, can sometimes be worth far more than their face value, even reaching hundreds or thousands of dollars if they're rare enough. Close-up of an error coin with misalignment. Error coins, like an off-center strike or a coin with multiple impressions, can be a jackpot for collectors. So if you think you found a coin with some irregularities, make sure to do some research. It could be a valuable find. Condition grading. Visual of coin grading scale from good to mint state, with examples of different conditions. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin is incredibly important. The way a coin is graded will directly affect its market value. Coin grading goes from a scale of 1 to 70, where higher numbers indicate better quality. A coin that is graded 60 or above is considered to be in mint or uncirculated condition, and this would definitely be worth more. If your coin is graded around good or fine, numbers between 10 and 40, expect a modest value, but if it scores in the high 60s or 70s, you're looking at a coin that could fetch a significant amount at auction. How to identify a valuable 1996 quarter. Step-by-step visual of identifying key features, mint marks, errors, and condition. Let's go over how you can identify a valuable 1996 quarter. Here's a checklist to help you. Check the mint mark. Look below the date to see if it has a D, S, or no mint mark at all. Coins with the S mint mark, proof coins, are generally worth more. Examine the condition. If the coin is shiny and shows no signs of wear, it's likely uncirculated and could be worth more. Look for errors. Check for any strange characteristics, such as double strikes, off-center prints, or die cracks. Error coins can be incredibly valuable. Consider special editions. Proof coins are higher quality and have a polished, mirror-like finish. They're typically worth more than their regular counterparts. Conclusion. Scene of a collector's book being filled with coins, with soft music playing in the background. So, there you have it, the 1996 $quarter coin. Whether you've got a well-worn coin from circulation or a shiny, uncirculated gem, understanding the history and value of this coin can add a lot of excitement to your collection. Remember, the condition, mint mark, and any unique characteristics like errors can dramatically impact its value, so always check your quarters carefully. You never know when you might have a rare find. Text on screen. Subscribe for more coin collecting insights from GS Coins. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips and updates on coin collecting here at GS Coins. We've got tons more videos coming your way, so stay tuned. Until next time, happy collecting.